The Los Angeles Chargers have clinched a spot in the 2024 playoffs, and now they get to see if they can go improve on their positioning as they're currently the 6th seed, but maybe they get to the 5 seed as they travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders here in this Week 18 matchup. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this game between the Chargers and Raiders and also talk about some of the playoff scenarios as well for the Chargers. But before we get into that, if you like the content that we put out, be sure to subscribe to the Tracy Take and tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. Leaving a like and a comment, let us know who you think will win and why. So, Ryan, as I said, the Chargers are currently sitting at the 6th seed as of right now. I don't believe they can go any lower just because they do have the tiebreaker with the Denver Broncos as they beat them twice this year. And that's the only team that could potentially go to 10-7, which is the worst record the Chargers could get. Chargers could go up to the 5 seed if they win and the Steelers lose. That's about as high as they can go because the Chiefs locked up the division. I think it's very possible. The Steelers are playing the Bengals here in Week 18, and the Chargers playing the Raiders, who they beat Week 1. So a lot has happened since Week 1, obviously. But we're recording this. We don't know when this game will be scheduled, but most likely this game will probably take place at the same time as the Steelers and Ravens game. I feel like all three of these games are going to be 4 o'clock Eastern. Or I guess for people out west, normal Chargers starting time. I would feel since it's out in Las Vegas. So it's going to be a 1 o'clock game for you guys. I don't expect this to be a Sunday night football game or a Saturday matchup as well. But it's going to be a very interesting matchup because honestly, the Raiders have kind of played themselves out of the number 1 overall pick over these past 2 weeks after beating Jacksonville and then beating New Orleans today. They're currently sitting at the number 8 spot right now. And they could absolutely trade up with your Patriots, number 1 overall, to maybe get Shedeur Sanders if they want. But at the same time, though, too, and this is what's going to make this game interesting, is it's not like Aiden O'Connell is like he's of the starting 32 quarterbacks in the league. He's probably one of the worst. He's probably sitting there in the mid 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe they can go be aggressive, but he can still put up some yards. I mean, Brock Bowers just broke the single season rookie receptions record and I think yards record. No, not yards. Yards for tight ends.
Yards for tight ends and receptions for rookie tight ends.
Yeah, well, I think just rookies in general. Because I'm pretty sure
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so you have him, Jacoby Myers playing well. They have kind of actually over the past or this past week, they ran the ball decently well. They're going to have a tough time, I think, running against the Los Angeles Chargers, but they have showed some moderate improvement overall, which isn't saying much. And on the same time, too, it feels like this defense still sometimes can put up a pretty good effort as well. Now, the Chargers have improved immensely over this entire season, looking at what this offense is now compared to what it was when they played in Week 1. It's going to be a totally different challenge for the Raiders, I feel. What do you think the Chargers need to do to solidify a victory here on the road against a division rival and potentially help themselves go and play, become that number 5 seed, which is huge because they'll be playing the Houston Texans, which is the weakest of the division winners?
Yeah, for me, I think they just need to come in here and handle business. Don't beat yourself. Let the Raiders be the Raiders. Try to contain Brock Bowers. Derwin James has done a really good job against tight ends as of late. And so I think it's going to be really important that they come in, don't make mistakes, don't beat themselves, and just handle business. Show up, play good football, and take the win and go home because they are the better team here. And I think if you're the Raiders, you want to come in, you want to get after Justin Herbert. His turnovers have been very few and far between this year, but see if you can force some turnovers, see if you can get some explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers' path to victory is pretty straightforward. You just come in, handle business, do what you do, and like the Raiders have to be the ones, I think, to go out and try to change that. So it's going to be a good division matchup. You never know what's going to happen in division matchups, but if the Chargers show up and play well, I think they'll be able to run the football well. I think Justin Herbert, he's been so efficient and not turnover prone this season that this offense will put up enough points that I just don't think the Raiders will be able to keep up.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing. Like looking at your Patriots when they played the Chargers, well, the Patriots didn't play well, yes, but the Chargers just looked like the
Yeah.
Super Bowl contending teams that you would expect at this point in the season, where they came in, took care of business, made no mistakes, super flawless, extremely efficient overall. Justin Herbert went 26 for 38, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, super easy. J.K. Dobbins came back in the lineup, which I think is huge for this team overall. 19 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. So this is kind of the steps that this team is taking in the
Yeah.
right direction as well. I think they're going to want to continue that momentum. And at the same time, too, defensively, they've played pretty well over the past couple weekends. They had a tough first half against Denver, but other than that, tough first half and then a tough second half against Tampa Bay. So essentially a full game's worth of just tough play. But up until then, though, I thought they played well at Kansas City in Week 14.
Yeah.
Um, they got a little lucky against my Atlanta Falcons in Week 13, but still were able to come up with the turnovers that Kirk Cousins was providing to them. And so they were able to find ways to win games. And over these past couple of weeks, I think they've been playing well. And to me, kind of getting into my prediction, I don't think it's going to be any different. They've got everything to play for. Raiders, I think they're going to be looking for some victories. It's not going to be of all these kind of games that don't really mean anything for one of the competitors, like the top 10 picking teams. This is probably one of the better teams I would think that's going to be picking on the top 10. I feel like just the way that they're playing. And
Yeah.
now, of course, I'm basing it off the past 2 weeks between the Saints games and the Jags game, who are two of the weakest teams in the league. But still, even though this team competed with Kansas City, they have some good pieces as well. How are you going to guard Brock Bowers? That's going to be a tough matchup for the Chargers. Good practice, I think, going into the playoffs, if we're being
Yeah.
honest. So, but still, I think the Chargers are going to come in there, take care of business. I think it's going to be a good game overall. I just don't have a letdown game potentially, just because you're in the playoffs. It's whatever. Let's see if you can go get that 5th seed and go play Houston in the first round.
Yeah. And that's going to be really a big deal because Houston versus Baltimore, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that's a big difference in competition.
Yeah.
And so I think do that, then you're going to Kansas City. That's a place that you've played well this year already. I like the mentality there of going to that. And granted, I guess like a 6 or 7 seed could win and go to Kansas City, but more than likely you will be the team going into Kansas City
Yeah.
there as well. So I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. They're just I think on a little bit of a heater right now. They had a really good second half against Denver. They had a really good 60 minutes of football against New England there, and so not that that's saying much, but uh, I just think the Chargers are going to be the better team here. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Los Angeles Chargers? Will it be the Las Vegas Raiders? And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.